to be the ruling class people here on earth above all other nations, all other people, all other hills and mountains. All right? And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that have the appearance of the heathen. This is not a black only thing. Right? And to the few Akwaf, into the sisters that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. So you can see the name, the title is All Secrets Are Being Revealed. The dirt on Esau. And, that's this particular channel that I follow, and we'll get to her later. But, and it's just Edomite. Her name is Brewski, or whatever her name is. Her whole channel is dedicated to revealing the secrets of Edomite men. And the penis envy, the obsession they have with Jake, especially Judah. They have this weird obsession. But before we touch on her, we're gonna talk about something else. Somebody get Luke 12:2 real quick, Mom. The scripture seems to come out like literally every week, multiple times. Room temperature for me.
This Luke chapter 12, verse 2. It's in real Lord Yahweh Shah speaking. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Yeah, so everything's coming out about Esau. There's a particular event that took place with a man called Captain Kirk. And after watching it, and I came to this assumption myself, and now it's so there's groups of guys and different people investigating it, and they try to, because they came in and snatched up Captain Kirk's body. They didn't allow we never saw an autopsy. Right. They trampled over the crime scene. They concreted it over and did all kind of shit to it. They really didn't want people to look into it and investigate it or anything of that nature. But when I watched in the super slow motion, I watched how his shirt danced. But then blood came out of his neck. And it poured out like a faucet. And being in the military and and a lot of things that I've seen and been around. One thing I do know is that if you get hit from the front, blood's not spurting from the front.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
And then, right, how's blood coming out squirting forward if he got hit this way? Then they conveniently left the note and the same thing, for some reason, everybody in these recent, like I would say, like since make the last 10 years or so, every criminal and every mass shooter, whatever, wants to leave a manifesto. They got to write a letter, leave an ID, right. Leave stuff behind, just in reach of the lost ones to define it. And so they left the 30-06. Now, I'm not a hunter, but like I said, I do know a little something about firearms and weapons. And I know that if you get hit in the neck with you ever seen the size of a full-grown buck? A male deer.
Know what you're saying?
Or even a full-grown, doe, a female deer. Huge, man. They're really big. It's something that could take, a beast like that down with one shot. Okay, one shot, because it's a 30-yard is designed to do a clean penetration straight through.
All the way.
Right?
That's right. Yep.
Because if it was something else, then you get hit with a weapon. You got the bullets that tumble around and tear up scar tissue and make you bleed out and die and all that stuff. Well, the 30-06 does the same thing, but it does it better because it's designed to punch through mass and leave a clean hole and just send you to the spirit world, whatever you are. All right, because you can take down very large beasts. So there's no way that the small as the neck is, on a human being, if that man was hit in the neck with a 30-06, his head might have came off. it'll look like he pissed off Conan and he swung a sword at him.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, it'd have been a lot messier than that. And then I watched a video today where these people were. Somebody can look up the word theory, and the Israeli news guy Stephen Danoon was on some other guy's show. All right, and he said they've been theorizing behind it, and then Stephen Danoon tells himself. All right. Now peep it. So in their theory, they are theorizing that from the sound from all the phones, I don't know how they did that the sound didn't come from away. Like if I'm sitting here and someone shoots me, it didn't come from away. From according to all the phones, the sound came from right there, right where Trump was sitting.
Okay, wow.
And then someone started talking about all those phones that blew up in Israel when they rigged all them explosives to all them cell phones, and all the Palestinians' faces and heads was getting blown up and shit, and their hands getting blown off because they was holding their phones. All right, so it turns out, and someone else said it too, that what happened was that his mic blew up, okay, and then they gave something. Well, they started, and in their theory, they saw what he said. He saw CAT scans, and he saw and he learned how to read CAT scans. He learned how to read MRIs because of the work that he used to do. Now, so we all know who Stephen Danoon is, right? The Israeli News Live dude. Didn't just Danoon with a D. I thought it was Banoon too. It's Danoon. But what he used to do, what his profession, and I'm assuming in the Mossad or CIA, whatever, his profession when he was in Israel, was he used to stage, and he told himself, he used to stage assassinations. And I'm like, how the fuck do you stage assassinations? All right, and so oh, wait a minute. So I'm staging assassination. So I just assassinated him. Right. And now that's basically what, right. And so he's admitting that the government that he was a part of, they do this. That's the first part. So with his theory and his receipts, they know exactly what happened to this man. He was an inside job, and it was Edomite on Edomite crime. Because he, especially with the fact that while he was sitting in the chair, all right, but first of all, we know the convenient 30-06 that they left, and the guy on the roof and all the other bullshit, all right, and then the guy that they arrested. And what happened was that when the microphone blew up, that's why you saw his shirt moving around, and then his neck exploded forward, and then the hole came out instead of sinking in with a hole coming out the back. It should have been spurting out the back. And I'm like, why is he leaking? You saw the bump come, and then a hole, and then the blood shot out. So apparently he had a fast death because he bled out within a minute, but it was very painful because it didn't sever his spinal column, so he was still completely conscious, and even though he was, he could feel the pain. So they really fucked him up because basically it was a assassination that malfunctioned. Still did the job, but it made it worse. And then it also made it to where it was supposed to hit in his chest. So, but something with it went off and it blew inward and it came up and went out of his neck. All right, and that's what So that's theory, but all the physical signs show that it's not theory. Okay.
The definition of theory. A theory is a structured, evidence-based explanation that explains, predicts, or interprets a specific set of
phenomenon.
Yeah, phenomenon. Often acted as an established model derived from repeated observations.
I got the etymology.
Oh, okay.
The theory, etymology. Conception, mental scheme. Yes, conception, mental scheme. 1950 from late Latin theoria, from Greek theoria, contemplation, speculation.
That's it. Contemplation, speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they speculate. But once something, so for example, it was a theory that particular shot that people was getting was causing myocarditis and all these other blood clots. It was all theory until the bodies began to show that whoever those people were, that actually happened to them. Well, you know, when the once the undertakers, you know, started trying to embalm these bodies, and they try to embalm bodies and get them preparing for the, you know, to send them off, and
They can't clean them up.
and it's like, what the fuck? So they start pulling all these 2 or 3 foot long clogs out of them. Then that's one evidence. That's one receipt. Then you had professional athletes, soccer players, which are some of the most fittest
On planet.
kids, young, but you know, I'm just
On the
going
planet.
professional soccer players. Some of the most physically fit athletes on the planet are soccer players. I don't know if you're aware of it, but on the average soccer player runs about 7 miles per game. If you weren't aware of that.
Full speed.
All right, when you look at because when you look at the size of that field, they're running up and down that field non-stop. And they rotate in. They'll bring 1 or 2 out, but they never stop running. So
Depending on what
they're doing, plus the training and the conditioning, these guys are fit. So you know, and then they tried to say, well, you know, what was it? It was just fake footage when all these niggas was dying all over the place.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fake footage.
You know, exactly. That's a lot of, you know, especially what happens is you got thousands of people at those soccer games, and they, you know, soccer fans are some of the most serious fanatics and fans on the planet, man. So they all got their cameras, and so I guess, you know, these thousands of cameras that watch these athletes from, like, you know, 100 different angles fall and collapse and get carried off the field in a stretcher.
Yeah.
I guess that all that footage is just
Was
fake.
documented.
And that's before
They just made it all up. So 2 more words, Baba shot. And somebody get Isaiah 29 and 15, by the way. You got something?
I just want to reiterate something from that definition Canassa read. But it says a theory structured, evidence-based explanation.
Structured.
And evidence-based. So it's not just a wild guess. You looking at facts, you looking at, like it says, evidence, and then you make this speculation. That part, yep.
So when you saw the thing move around, all right, and then his neck bulge and the hole come out and blood spurts out.
Yeah.
That's evidence.
Yes.
Can I back
That's
that point up?
evidence. All right. But before you hold that thought, hold on to it. Don't lose it. Get that, and then somebody no, there was something you said, and then damn, what is staged. Look up the word staged and look up the word assassin. Okay. Because if to me, Stephen Danoon told you who did it, because it was already being speculated that the Lil Hats were behind it. They're enforcers. You know who their enforcers are. You know, Mossad and IDF. But yeah. So look up the word staged and look up the word assassin. All right, and now get that scripture, Bob.
I got it.
What we got?
Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, who knoweth us.
And so these people are always scheming and always doing dirt. For example, there was they used Marines to hijack a cargo ship, an Iranian cargo ship. Okay, but supposedly before they hijacked, this was the eve before they were to sit down again and try to come to some agreement. So we agreed, okay, we're all right. You know, we ain't got no reason to trust you, but okay, we'll sit down and talk to you one more time. So on the eve of when they were supposed to sit down and have these talks, they had the Marines jack a cargo ship. and came on the ship fully armed, like a damn SWAT team, like Marines. You know, and ran up. I'm the captain now. Turn this ship around. Right. Okay. So, you know, these people are always scheming. They're always trying to hide something. But, you know, look, and you can't make deals with a pit viper, man. It's poison, and it's always gonna bite you. It ain't even got to be hungry to bite you. It's just gonna bite you because you're there.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
Right.
I didn't even want to bite you, but I bit you.
Pretty much.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, look up stage.
Okay, so stage refers to events deliberately arranged for effect, appearing artificial rather than spontaneous.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They also just
So what would be the purpose to stage an assassination? Which means you really killed someone, but you staged it, but you just assassinated them. Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
But you needed a particular person to die so that you can what? So that you can push forward. Now we got to go get revenge and kill all these motherfuckers. Or whatever, whatever it is that they did. You stage. So read that again.
It says stage refers to events deliberately arranged for effect.
These are the people ruling over you. All right. And how many times you heard the world's a stage?
Yeah.
Right?
Tell them
It's a stage. The world is a stage, man.
It's just like
They never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
Okay?
hey, and then even I had a fake service shit,
That's the point. It's staged.
Because
It is fake.
Wag the dog.
You
Right.
had the guy from the islands supposedly is the guy that looks just like him. Same stutter, same everything, and he ran around Palm Beach Pete.
Yeah.
And they saying he got the same stutter as the guy, same everything, tattoos, everything, and he riding around Miami like ain't nothing, like with a whole nother alias.
Wouldn't be. Yeah, it is what it is.
He literally look exactly, sound exactly, talk exactly, tattoos exactly, just like the motherfucker.
So when he went and copied, he said, "Damn, I look like this nigga." Let me go get the same tattoo in the same spot.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get out. I get all the holes anyway. No, it's not far fetched
They
at all.
do that. They do that.
Yeah, because
Yeah, they do
that
do
was
that.
that movie called The Prince.
He, when they first seen him, he was in the Bentley, so I mean, he already had money. He saw that money down there. That's another story.
All right, so now we looked up. That was enough on stage. Let's look up assassin, and then we put those two definitions together. What you got saying, baby?
This quote, in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way.
Sure.
FDR.
Damn. So and these are the people that are ruling over us, that are now they're being found out. See, the world is finding them out, and the world hates them.
And I said, while not using the exact wording, if anything the government did it, this FDR quote is the most famous expression of the sentiment that events are planned by political powers.
So can anyone say 911? But anyway,
I know the plane come through the building,
yeah,
unharmed.
unharmed.
Yep.
They made it through all them steel girders.
Saw the nose.
And the nose popped out. Well, and that's one of the reasons why they stopped showing that, because they got called out.
Elder, they said that shit about
But the footage is still out there. So
they said about on that tarmac when there's two planes in it. So he's like, so you're telling me that this vehicle did more damage than steel beams?
Yeah. And a certain group of people happen to not show up at work that day.
a particular group of people.
Yeah. Right.
And the biggest piece of the evidence to the theory that it was an inside job is when they checked the military flight records, only aircraft in the sky that day was a military plane that's able to be equipped with the projectors they use. So yeah, the U.S. military for certain operations, you got projectors they put on planes
Right.
and stage whatever the fuck they stage it. And they said the only vehicle in the sky in the area that day was that plane.
Right, and there's a receipt for that.
And that's why you see that shit come
And
through.
yeah, and they also allowed the one plane to fly with the Saudis on it too. And I found it funny too. Even back then, it's strange that they said that 19 Saudi Arabians were. I'm like, well, in the Saudis like our allies?
Right.
And then secondly, then I thought that, and then the next thing was, well, why y'all going to Iraq then?
Right.
That confused the fuck out of me, and I was super interested in it because, when that shit happened, my old unit deployed. So I'm like, what the fuck? I knew niggas,
Yeah. because Esau, he figured as long as it's a towel head, it don't matter, right? All the evidence. Hey, what they said, Durka Mohammed Jihad, motherfucking was it Team America World Police?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he looks
World
like
Police.
yeah, Durka Mohammed Jihad.
How many Saudis got license to 520? They ain't raised no suspicion and shit.
Yeah, so you know, a bunch of bullshit, and just more lies into their history books that have been
Like
disproved.
Q's.
You know, the lie IQs. You know, it's pretty sad when you have a nation and a country that's selling and teaching history to their children. All right, I remember my client told me how her daughter came home. She was like 6 years old, crying, and she was crying about 9/11. You know, and because, and she, you know, wasn't even born, but she learned about it at school, and it just kind of fucked, because she was like, how can somebody do that? You know, what kind of, mommy, what kind of people would do this, mommy, you know? And it really messed her up. And I'm like, you got this baby crying over a fucking lie, over some shit that you did. Well, it's like, well, sweetie, your people did it. You know? And they did it to their own people, you know, so that they can, you know, yeah, she really lost it.
So they get into your conversation to take you to go to the airport.
Exactly.
For your safety, not theirs, yours.
Man, and didn't they have receipts that George Bush brother took a claim on that building before it even happened? They had
Insurance
receipts on
claim.
that, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Jew that bought the building and put insurance on it the day before.
Yeah, he literally renewed the insurance policy.
It wasn't George W.
It wasn't George
Don't
W.
talk
Yeah.
When they said it,
Ain't nowhere else for talking
No.
shit when you
It had nothing to do with
The Bushes, right,
It had nothing. That was a little hat that owned that building.
right. And he renewed it,
And he renewed.
made sure it was up to standard, and then some.
Well, he basically, yeah, and then he even put the receipts on. I mean, the insurance on building 7.
That's what I was about to say.
Was the third building, because people don't even talk about it. It was 3 buildings went down.
Yep.
All right, not just 2. And it was one that was half the
The
size of
third
the
tower's
other 2.
going down.
Because you had one that was like
Yeah.
49 or 50 stories, that did nothing touched it, and it went down to
Yeah. They forgot about that one.
yeah. And it turns out, it turns out that a lot of documents and receipts to shit that they didn't want to be
It
seen
was in there.
was in that building.
Yep.
So that's why so when the towers came down, they was like, well, you know what?
We gotta take this one.
All these secrets and shit, you know, this shit go, and you know, and I don't know, you know, when you see, like, there's a movie that's coming out where a plane goes down. I mean, there's plenty of movies where planes go down, and you always got survivors and dead people and bodies and luggage and chairs and shit. These planes just disappeared. It was like no luggage fell out the sky, no people fell out the sky, even if it blew up. All right,
Except the perpetrators.
you know, except but all that and this one nigga's slightly
Passport.
feathered, you know,
Driver's license.
right? It just flickered in the wind through all that hot ass ash and fire and explosion and
Right.
gas and right and you know this
Right.
No engines,
What you got him?
What do we have here?
exactly
no engines.
right. I was like, damn, them niggas got Scooby Doo in the game to find this shit. Go ahead, brother.
I got a quote. This is a quote from Sir Walter Scott. It says, "Oh, what a
And
tangle."
who was a Negro, by the way?
God.
All right, they lie about Walter Scott. That was actually, I went to that grade school. They tore that school down after we were the last class too.
Wow.
Go ahead, because Mount Carmel bought that property.
Wow.
That was a gigantic, beautiful building too. It was big enough to be a damn high school. But go ahead, brother.
It says, "Oh, what a tangled web we
We-
oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we set out practice to deceive." It basically broke down. It means that dishonesty creates complex spiraling complications that eventually spiral out of control and ensnare the liar.
There you go.
And that's what you're seeing right now in 4K.
Right.
Passports, but no black box.
Kakan.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? Something though. It's funny that you say that because when you started saying that, it reminded me. Remember that cartoon Esau Fables? It used to say that thing. Aesop. Yeah.
Like that.
That was Bill Cosby.
Yeah, you changing it up, brother.
Aesop's fables.
I had a quote real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
This proving back like a Michael II, it's a power Esau head, man, the elites, right? This from J. Edgar Hoover. It says there would never be another black Messiah unless we create him.
Oh, damn. Hoover said that,
But he
huh?
was a pretty proud son of a bitch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that whole book that he called himself believing in talks about nothing but a all black Messiah. So I like to play this video. I think this one Apostle Ramlab sent to me. Man, these videos are just hot. Let me get rid of this one and delete that. No, because I got a list of videos here. These Edomite women just snapping on Esau, and it's beautiful, man. But I like to play this one. And this chick right here, her mother's a Jake and her father's like Italian or some shit. But this is straight up nigga woman, man. And you know, and there'd be a lot of Jake out there talking about white woman goes off on white men. Well, this particular woman, this ain't no white girl. You can just hear her and know she's not. But they're being found out, and everybody's seeing it, and everybody's seeing that like that one professor in that one college, and all the Edomites were so offended when that one professor came to the conclusion that that they need to be eliminated, and then the world would be a better place because he's measuring up all the evidence in theory. When what you say once evidence presented is not theory anymore, right? Mm-hmm. If you have theory and then there's evidence to back up what you're saying, it's no longer theory. It's just like how they try to say conspiracy theories, and then all of a sudden all the receipts come because to be truthful, over the last like forever, the conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000 because most of the things that they've called conspiracy theories have turned out to be true. Like niggas hanging on wires and shit, bouncing around, and then all the video shows up that's exactly what they're doing, and they try to tell you that these people are in space somewhere. Right. And then people that works at the studio is screenshotting it with their cell phones. Right. Like telephone call. Because somebody got to be sitting there with a camera going, I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. These dumbass people really believe these people are going in and out of space like that. If they're going past the Van belt and coming back.
Yeah. I think he was coming out of work.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he was like, we never went to space. We shot this shit in the Hollywood city.
And then they through movies and through songs. What was that movie with the little yellow things? The Gru movie? What's some little yellow? The Minions. How the Minions walked in on the studio when they were shooting. The dudes from Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's a lyric.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in the Hollywood basement.
Yeah. That's one of their songs, right? Then Stanley Kubrick's before. And then it's funny that he was fine, and then when he said that, and then he turned around and did that Eyes Wide Shut. They was like, no, we gotta get rid of this dude.
They actually had to revamp it because towards the ending scene, he actually had some PDF shit in it. Oh. So they had to remove the PDF shit out before they released the final copy.
Yeah. He put
wow.
Mm-hmm. He put a couple hints in what was that movie he did with didn't he do The Shining?
Yep. Yeah.
It was a couple hints that he was putting in that movie too as well.
Yeah. Yep. The Shining? Yeah, The Shining. Man, The Shining off the chain, bro. Yeah. It also proves, and he also they go to tell you that they are aware that you come back.
Mm-hmm. Reincarnation. That scary ass movie.
It's not scary.
No. The first one, when I was little, was scared the shit out of me. But it's a good movie, man. But it's
fucking wild
now. But then the part 2, 20-something years later, Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep is cold.
Bro, it's cold. You got to see. You gotta watch both those movies.
Don't watch it around like you missing out.
Both the movies are on here, bro. And they don't matter. And they're good the Dr. Sleep matches up right with the Eyes Wide Shut shit.
Damn.
It lets you really know about about that stuff that they like to extract from scared children. What was that one cartoon? That one cartoon. Well, I didn't want to say the word, but that one cartoon. Monsters Inc. You know.
Damn, that's exactly what that shit was about.
Well, you watch Sleep Doctor.
Whatever.
That's scary.
That's it.
This nigga scared.
Told y'all it was a chicken.
But real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and play. Let me turn the sound up. Lock in, brothers. I want to play this video because this chick always go hard, man. And and she used to irritate the shit out of me, but now I'm actually starting to like this broad, man.
Nah, I make claims. Don't worry.
Scare me and can't claim.
Now she said this as a white person with a full chest out, and she hopes that it hurts. What's going on? What's going on out there? Go outside with that shit. What's wrong with them? I don't know.
I heard my thoughts.
They are fucking orders. But here we go.
I say this as a white person with all disrespect and my full chest.
And my full chest.
A lot of white people. I say this as a white person with all disrespect and my full chest out, and I genuinely hope it offends and triggers a lot of white people in the comments, right? The reason that so many global alt-right white people cling to the current system that is the capitalistic United States of America is because without the benefits of colonization and white privilege, they would live a subpar life. These people are capable of nothing great. Nothing. They would be the societal rejects and the welfare babies that they often accuse of stealing resources they've never fucking contributed. They need white privilege to succeed. I don't. You can abolish white privilege. You can abolish systematic oppression effective tomorrow. And not only would I succeed in life, I would excel. I know that because if a lot of people came from where I came from, they couldn't make what I made. I'm very proud of what I've done with my life, given the circumstances I was fucking given. I know that I don't need white privilege to succeed, but these people genuinely do. They're not privileged. They're not superior. In fact, they're inferior. Their entire existence is contingent upon racism, upon systematic oppression, upon flexing basically the biological lotto that they earned just by being fucking born. There's an entire community that exists in New Jersey that spends their entire life living off of welfare until they attend a real estate convention, put their name on a list, and post-genocide inherit land that they could never take. They could never maintain, they could never build, they could never develop. Everything has to be handed to these people because they do not have the work ethic, the diligence, the intelligence, the stick-to-itiveness, the know-how. They have no means to succeed in life. So I say this with all disrespect. I don't give a chicken fried fuck about privilege. Take all that shit away. Re-implement DEI. Abolish critical race theory. Get rid of systematic oppression. Give everybody equal rights and equal opportunities across the board. I'm still going to be exactly what I was meant to be. A lot of white people can't say the same thing, and that's why they cling to the old way. They say this is a white person.
Now, and there's two women that appear to be pale. Now, the spirit already let you know.
Right.
That bro been gone for years. Bro.
Chicken fried fuck.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
But the point is that it was reposted by another white woman.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. He was the one underneath being quiet, just pointing to and agreeing. Right. All right. So, with that being said, somebody get Job 27:15. Absolutely.
This is Genesis 27:40. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. It shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Esau was prophesied that he was going to live by, so he's going to rule the world, but it's going to be by the sword, man.
And it's say by building.
Right.
It was by the sword. So basically, stab, chop, cut, steal, build my shit.
Right.
Mhm.
All
right. Go build that shit.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Now give it to me.
Right.
Right. He, it's like what was that one brother made that statement when he said, Jake invented shit and then Esau invented the patent office.
Right.
Hey, Elder, you seen that clip? There was a slave master and he had the nigga in the back of the chair. He said, "Hurry up and finish making the Constitution, nigga." Hurry up and finish writing that Constitution, nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, you got Benjamin Banneker. He made the White House, man.
Right.
Hey, and another thing, I was talking to Jake, the 90-year-old brother I was telling you about. He said when he grew up, it was called Negro history. He said a lot of those inventions, I forgot the inventions he said, a lot of shit that Esau said that's his, Jake really made everything.
Of course he did.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we've shown the receipts thousands of times, bro. I got a book at home that from Batak gave me that book. I got a book at home, and that book was matter of fact, that book was $150 back then. And it's a book full of inventions that were created by Jake and the filament for the light bulb. Every time you turn on the light switch, it was his name was something Latimer. I forget his name, but nevertheless, what they teach you in school is Edison. They'll say who invented the light bulb? Louis Latimer.
Yeah.
Right there, but they say no, it was Louis Latimer, and there's a actual federal court case.
Yeah.
Case law to prove it because he won the court case. But he said, well, no, man, this is my invention, not his. And Latimer won the court case.
Lewis Latimer.
Latimer.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I look at the video today and it showed they said how stupid racists are, based on how stupid Esau is. So what these people did, they took a test and the color blue, but they'll write the color blue in green ink, or they'll write the color red in yellow ink, and the Edomite racists failed every damn time. They failed that test. Every time.
Wow.
I got a precept, if I may. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 16. It says, "They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners?" And so, like, the scrutiny is on Esau now. The whole world is waking up that Esau is the problem.
He's a fraud. He's an imposter. I did a video with what's his name, whatever his name is, that one Arab, that Ishmaelite guy who I believe he's Jake as well. But he really went in on him. Basically, she just echoed what he said.
Right.
He just said it more eloquently. That brother Smooth with his speech.
Yeah.
And she just didn't give a flying chicken shit.
Right.
Chicken fuck.
Fried chicken fuck, man.
Right.
Right.
Because she a straight nigga woman.
Absolutely.
No fried
Yeah. Absolutely, brother.
Isaiah 30:32-5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Hey, and look, man.
That's a great precept, brother.
Hey, man. Look, this is where I like the way you die, boy. This is where you go down, man.
Well, Trump is the prime example of the scripture being fulfilled.
Con.
He say this shit. He don't give a fuck. He tell you. He said we finna annihilate a whole civilization.
Goodbye.
That nigga something like about a whole civilization.
Not getting no fuck.
He don't give a fuck.
And people found themselves so embarrassed and ashamed of him.
Yeah.
All right. Like I got all these what do you call them? These Democrat women. And it's funny, like my clients and I pit them against each other in speech, and it's kind of fun to sit back and watch them. And how the ones that hate Trump and the ones that support Trump, but then nevertheless, man, they're just so fickle, and now they're all just lost. And they come and I find them in conversations. They're ashamed of their men.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They're ashamed. Yeah. It's like when we start talking about things, they look down, they look away, and because they literally feel shame about the leadership and what's happening in that country, and especially when it just comes to the fact, well, you know, this is white males.
Right.
These are white men that are failing on everything, and every aspect of this society is failing, and it was under white male control.
And
So who's the problem?
Salaka too. And just to say this, them bitches was all good. The only reason they got a problem now is because Esau fucked up. When he made himself an angel of light, his people bought into that.
Yeah.
So now it's coming all this wickedness. They really just ashamed that they're caught.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got the precept too.
Okay.
Yeah, they just ashamed they caught. So now they jumping ship. This is a Rock 41
Yes.
and 4. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity, which means children, shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Ooh.
So they've been all for this shit.
Yeah.
They didn't say nothing.
Yeah. The Emmett Till bitch, she knew that what happened with him.
Right.
She didn't say shit. All these Edomite bitches that done fuck a Jake because, I mean, what they say, oh, you like Tay Diggs. All right, they call every nigga Tay Diggs, right? And then they found out, well, no, he raped me. They let him get away with that shit because he was a nigga.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. They ashamed only because they're caught.
They got caught.
I got
it. And not only that, women are conformists.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
All right, and
They know
Edomite
that.
women can see that they literally trying to secure their place. Well, your place is gonna be slavery. It's really nothing, you know.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, some of you will be concubines. You know, you get to come to the big house, but at the end of the day, you still gonna be right.
Yeah,
You know,
still get slave, bitch.
you
Ain't
still
no
gonna
down.
exactly.
You finna get all this. No mercy to you, bitch. You gonna get clapped and killed, man.
When Obadiah time comes around, you know, when the great bond, when it's that time, you go into the fire with your men.
Can I read this real quick, Elder? This is the definition of churl, right? A churl is a rude, surely ill-bred person.
Churlish.
Yeah, he's ill-bred, right? Historically referred to a peasant, which before they were Rothschilds, what were they called? Bowers. Which means what? A peasant. To a peasant or a farm laborer in the Middle Ages. This is the churlish person. He's ill-bred, man. You're a goddamn abomination. That's why when you were created, your father looked like I shot.
Wasted away.
Wasted away.
Wasted away is he, man.
What am I gonna do with this? Like,
Right. You got some pop?
Yeah,
I think Capo. When you holding something?
No, I had a report.
Oh, you got.
Go ahead and bring the scripture.
Okay, go ahead. Bring out that Joe. Bring out yours and bring out yours.
It's Joel 27. I'm gonna start at 15.
Because you know I got more. You know, hold on to that. All right. Look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a lineup. We got Tanya Ray Fox and Kylie Brewer. Kylie won't play them all, but
They gonna hurt her.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they gonna make Kylie. They gonna disappear her.
They gonna hurt her.
She tearing them off, man.
Okay.
She hurting them. Bring yours out.
This is Jeremiah 50:12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hithermost of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
Wow, and you know what? And that scripture is literally talking about how Britain is ashamed of America.
Yes.
But the scriptures are manifold because there are many Edomite women that complain about how wicked their sons are.
Right.
She said, we birthed you, we raised you, and now we're ashamed of you. I've heard them say this.
Right.
All right. It's so they're on their way down, man. They really are falling right in front of our faces, man. But go ahead, brother.
It's Sirach 10, verse 30 and 31. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
Wow. How much more in poverty? See, he's dishonored in riches now. And you know, and he's just such a bastard. You know, why not just? Then we were talking about this last night.
Yeah.
Nigga, you can't see that you won.
Right.
Just enjoy your kingdom. Stop. You know, you doing too much. Right. And so he basically you just didn't know how to stop, and now you went overboard, and now everybody the great noticing. Everybody see your ass now.
Scriptures
Right.
tell you a covetous man is not satisfied with his portion. You know, he got to keep going. He got to keep going unto his own self-destruction.
And that's exactly what that's where he is.
It's the
It's
curse.
That's
It's
the
the
curse.
curse. It's lucky, brother. It's the curse that was put on the serpent. He was cursed to go upon his belly. That's what Sirach talks about. A man who's envious of himself. Esau can't help but go after. He gotta have it all, man. That's his job, man. That brought him to his fucking knees.
That's
He
why.
could have been let it go. He had basically 98% of the world on fiat.
Yep.
They all got with the central bank. You could have let that shit go. You ain't need the last two little countries.
Right.
Let Gaddafi
Yep.
have his little portion of North Africa.
Yep.
But you doing all this shit just make the world realize more and more that you fuck up the plan. That's why Britain hates you. You
Yep.
couldn't stand in the background.
Right.
Play your part.
Growing shit, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what the book? The making of a
All
terrorist.
up in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sure tonight. Facts, man. You get away with murder. You get away hanging with them lights over the balcony.
Yeah.
The whole industry cheer you. You get to go before all the famous Edomites push French president Macron out the way.
Yeah.
Pop your collar.
Now I'm here. I'm here now.
You fucking up their gas line, fucking up their supply chain.
Right.
We had a good thing going here. You went too far.
That's why Job always says he's gonna cast all that shit out his belly, man.
Yeah.
You done bit off more than you could chew, right? And then you didn't share none of the. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Joker. After he robbed the bank and shit, he said he's like, no, I shoot the bus driver. He was killing all the motherfuckers that he robbed the bank with.
Yep. You gave orders to motherfuckers to kill each other off.
And you want that's all these Edomites mad because
They ain't get their cut.
They want the piece of they never gonna get, and they frustrated. They don't never get that shit.
They got cut out the deal.
Yeah.
And they going down.
Go ahead.
Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man.
Go ahead.
This is Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. This Edomite ain't right.
Go ahead.
Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, which is his doctrine. Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire is hell, and as death.
And the scripture says there's two things that's not satisfied. It says hell, the grave, the barren womb.
Right. He say
insatiable.
And is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto himself all nations and eat unto himself all people. This devil can't be satisfied, just like
death.
It's death. So you can't. And you can't nothing satisfy this devil.
Hey,
no matter, the Lord did really gave Esau the whole world, Job 9:24. And this dude still ain't satisfied. He still want more. You got everything.
He couldn't take a bottle of bitch. He couldn't take a bottle on the bitch and go chill. It wasn't in them.
It ain't never been a bouncer.
He didn't even want the bitch.
Exactly.
It ain't never been a bouncer.
Really wanted her brother. That's
right. He wanted her brother.
Yeah.
It is bitch. I want your brother.
Yeah. It ain't never been a bouncer in front of a graveyard and said we filled the capacity. You know, the earth. You know,
yeah, you're on the list. You can't come in.
Yeah. We got too many dead bodies. Nah.
Absolutely.
We got a precept. This Psalms 62 and 3. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a bound wall shall ye be, and as a tolerant fence, because they find ways to they all people down, including us. They want to keep us down, imagining this mischief, bringing up this lies, bringing up their democracy, and then it's all failing against them because now they got, like y'all said, too greedy.
Right.
And the lie IQ has failed them, man.
That's right. Verse 4.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly.
Wow. Could somebody, anybody just pull up a list of J conventions? Just, J
conventions?
We talked about it. I just want to mention this man is, and most of these inventions, so-called white people, the ones that might be watching or criticizing whatever, most of them aren't aware of this. All right, and some of them are. All right, but they still walk around proud.
Black
But
invention.
this is
They made a video game.
Well, one of country music.
Yeah, the Odyssey.
I had one of them Odysseys. Let's I'm gonna play Miss Tanya Ray Fox now. Then I'll play one of these from Kylie Brewer. And I'm telling you, man, this Kylie, man, like you said, couple, I think they gonna hurt her. Yeah, Esau really mad. I mean, they be on her channel like, bitch, shut up, stop talking about us.
And then she'll expose them when they DM her.
So when they DM her and threatening and shit, she like, look at this one.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, his dick is really short. They gonna but
DEI white men have showed in my comments. Let me just make this. The DEI white men have showed in my comments. Let me just make this clear. We all know you guys have most of your jobs because of white supremacy DEI. Because you're a white man. We know that. White women, we benefited really well from actual DEI, for sure. And from our proximity to white supremacist men, of course.
she admitted
That's why
it.
you guys get so mad when I talk about this stuff, because you see me and you're like, wow, I know, it's not a bitch. Either way, we all know you guys are underqualified. So you can say racist stuff, like it's okay for the NFL to have a majority black workforce and labor force, but not have equivalent representation in coaching and front offices and ownership. You could say that, but what we actually know is going on is that you are terrified of the idea of actually needing to be qualified, the most qualified person in a room, in a league, in a company. All you have is the lore passed down to you by your shitty racist families that you are entitled to something. And so when the Attorney General of Florida, who spent the better part of the last decade looking at the bottom of the stiletto boots that Ron DeSantis wears, when he sees an opportunity, he's gonna grab it. He's gonna grasp at that. Because you guys are the most insecure losers on the planet. The only way you stay on top is by making sure other people don't have a shot. But we all know it. There's no turning back. There's no way for you to make us unknow that you are very.
See, she said, we know that the only way for you to make it is to set up a system that keeps everybody from getting it, because you really can't compete.
They can't compete.
And then I always try to make it. You've seen it on your job with the technical stuff that you've done.
They can't compete.
All right, I've seen it. I've seen it in the Marine Corps. I've seen it across the board in many different venues, man. All right, they really can't keep up. They set things. It's like going back in '95. I took that test. Had an Italian friend of mine. He really a nigga, man. And he used to bounce with me, you know. And and he was down. He was down for the squads too. You know, as a matter of fact, he even told me one day, man, you know, I used to start some of that shit just so I could see you go. But yeah, that's some nigga shit. But we went and took the fireman's test together. All right. I scored higher than him. He's a fireman to this day. All right, now I did get some money. They did a big lawsuit thing, and all of a sudden I just got a check in the mail because they basically admitted there was some racism shit and some shit done, and I got sent a check, and I went and bought a car with it. But the point is that going back. I already cut him some because even a wife did he have. I even let him have that because she tried to come. And he told me, "Come on, man, I like him, man." I said, "Go all right, bro."
I love him.
No, but they still together, got a couple kids, so whatever. But the point being is that I scored higher than him. Yeah. Plus, I also had, I think I also got 5 extra points because of my military. So they gave me 5 points. All right, or something like that.
Yeah, that shit don't matter with Esau.
So that means with my 5 points, I was in the 90s. And he scored like an 80 something like that. 80, 81.
What's the scripture say? It say they're not in trouble.
It is what it is.
They're not in trouble as other men.
They
They don't deal with the same. And it's like in my job, it's fucking. But they call this man Dumb Donkey. They call him Dumb Donkey. That's his nick. That's what Esau called him. Dumb Donkey.
The Edomites are calling him.
Esau, because his last name is Donkey. It's like the way it's spelled, but it's Donkey. It's Donkey.
Well, you got a term called fragility.
So right. It's Donke.
Yeah, but they call him Dumb Donkey.
Right.
They call him Dumb Donkey because donkeys are dumb.
Right.
So Jake, this dude is fucking intelligent, man. Like, Jake is intelligent. He a Reubenite, right? And across the board, I'm talking about he raw. Numbers coming out, the machines, different operators come from him to help. It's me and him, they come to, because I work certain machines that he don't know. So they come to me and him. What I don't know, what he don't know, they come to me. What I don't know, they go to him.
Right.
So the supervisor, first the league came over. And the guy, the Edomite who's supposed to get it, which he might be a Jake. Because he ain't fuck with Esau, he fuck with us, you know what I'm saying? But he quit. They gave it to Esau, which is extremely underqualified. And Jake was already the team lead on Thursday when they shut the shit down. Jake owns large slitter, making his company all this money. He running shit. But you got this Edomite who don't do nothing, who run his mouth the whole motherfucking shift. He in the office for 2-3 hours sucking dick. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, that's what they do. You know what I mean? The Esau won't
brown nose.
You know what I mean? He brown nosing. But they give it to him, but not give it to Jake, who's overqualified, who everybody in the plant
gets everything done because it's some good old boy network
we ain't doing shit now. Like we barely do anything.
Well, that's a spirit that's moving throughout America. Right? I don't know whether these things are staged, but they're happening because what people are doing is they're rebelling against the elites. So they think or they say, because they're taking they're taking a page out of the soldiers, the sailors who sabotage those ships.
Right.
Now the workers are starting to sabotage factories and
burning up
like
shit.
That.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that spirit of sedition and rebellion against Esau, but if I may, I wanted to actually let her finish because she was about done. It was only a couple seconds left. Let's see if I can put it back to where it was. I never paid attention to it. You're right, bro. That bitch is bad.
There's no turning back. There's no way for you to make us know that you are very often the least intelligent people in rooms, very often the most entitled, right? And sometimes you guys don't even know that because you think you've done so much work to get where you got. It's actually like watching a little kid like so proud of building a fucking sandcastle. Like they are architects of a real home. Because that's the only thing they have to compare it to. They don't know what it takes to actually build a house. Sandcastle's the closest thing they've ever come. So I get why you think you're all so fucking qualified. No one's ever told you you're not, and you never actually had to fucking work your way through a system twice, 3 times, 10 times as hard. So of course you fucking feel oppressed by any idea of equality. And I know every time you hear a white person, a white man or woman say something like this, call us out on our own bullshit, on our own white bullshit, you think that there's been some sort of mystical spell cast upon me.
Stigmatized.
The only way you would ever betray your own whiteness. You would only ever betray your own whiteness because of sex, attraction, power, right? That's the only way you would ever consider not leaning into your perceived white supremacy. No matter what the NFL does, no matter what these industries do, no matter how many times you try to stack the deck even more, it's not going to change the fact that we know you guys are fucking. The DEI white men should have let me just make this clear. We all know.
It started again.
That nigga Trump did exactly what she said. He said, basically, I started from the bottom, did it myself with a small loan of $1 million from my father.
Oh my God.
Man, he took over a foot. That motherfucker.
$1 million.
Right.
Do it yourself.
That's why you have a term called
$1 million in the 70s was what is
Hold
that
on.
today?
That's why you have a term called white fragility. It was one. I don't know if it was one. It was one.
I got a book. and I did a couple lessons on it.
It was one of the
White
elites,
fragility.
if I may say, Slocky Elder. It was an elite. He basically said that competition is a sin. Okay, competition is a sin. And I'm thinking about this. You had all these years of blackface and all this shit. Drewski did one fucking skit, and everybody, all these motherfuckers were up in arms over that fucking Drewski skit.
Well, they had
bro.
what, like 40 years of Jim Crow?
Yeah, 40 years of Jim Crow.
50 years?
Yeah, and Drewski did one skit, and it was a small hat that said this, believe it or fucking not. He said the reason why you're so mad is because they did it better. You can't fucking compete. Anything Jake do, Jake is the form of all things. Anything we touch, it turns to gold, man.
Because you know what? I hate that nigga Drewski, but I have to admit, man, he nailed that bitch.
Man, bro.
He became her. He really did nail that shit. Now, whoever did that makeup was some serious witchcraft because he looked like an ugly ass version of her. You know?
Elon said whoever his makeup artist is, he need to give her a raise.
Yeah.
It fooled his artificial intelligence. So when people was looking up her, it was pulling up.
It was pulling up. It's over.
It's over, man. Hey, you know what's funny? Because this is what I said about Michael Jackson, right? I said Michael Jackson, his goal was to show you Edomites that he could be a better white person than you.
No, right, it's 8.5 million.
No.
8.5 million.
Wow.
7 is worth 8.5 million.
So basically $8.5 million. So the $1 million went an extra long way.
Actually, can I read this?
Wow, bring it out, brother.
Okay, this is according to a 2018 New York Times investigation. Donald Trump received the equivalent of at least $413 million in 2018 dollars from his father, Fred Trump's real estate empire, largely through loans and tax avoidance schemes over several decades. While Trump often cited a small loan of $1 million, records show he was effectively a millionaire by age 8.
And then his father was a damn pimp and a whoremonger and drug dealer and all that shit, man.
So
and sex trafficking and all that, man.
It says here.
Real estate was a side shit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he was running brothels.
Watch this.
And taking payments in gold and silver.
Here
in case you didn't know.
Here you go.
His grandfather.
Initial valuation.
His father got the money to give to him. Salaki, go ahead, brother.
Initial valuation in 1974, when Donald Trump took over his father's company, estimations suggest the firm was worth roughly $200 million, with total proceeds spreading among siblings.
So he's been, even spreading among his siblings, he's been a millionaire since he was 8 years old. So he's full of shit.
Absolutely.
In a system that completely and totally benefited him.
Then the way they commit wealth in like New York, like 78, then like something like the Bronx, it's all slum neighborhoods.
Yeah. He built the Bronx and shit like that. Yeah.
And they got it for dirt cheap. Now it's worth a lot of money.
Just like gentrification, they've been doing that for a long time, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, I remember watching that movie, Fort Apache, the Bronx. That shit, the Bronx looked like fucking Beirut.
Yeah.
It's like Lebanon or something.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they got that shit cheap and shit.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of dirty practices. That nigga had them motherfuckers build that casino and didn't pay him. He filed bankruptcy, so he didn't have to pay the workers.
Yeah, he did.
They still mad about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He let them complete everything, and
it's like those Edomites that let all them those illegal workers, do all their work on their roof and fix their house, and then call ICE.
Yeah, same shit.
This Genesis 25, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. 23, and the Lord said it to her: 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So just like these, my bitches been saying, or whatever they are, they're saying that Esau was underqualified. And in their mind, they have that pride, like it says in Isaiah 10, or not all my sons as princes. They not as great as this nation. That's the Esau mindset, man. And the fact of the matter is, if you just look, there was a nigga this year, he set the fastest rate for still wrestling. So basically, you ride a bull or horse or whatever.
Jump off and grab
You
it.
gotta jump off and grab a fucking steer.
Horns, right?
Grab their horns and drive them to the ground.
You know, bro, you don't got the fattest time this year's a nigger. So I see in the comments say, why we can't let white folks have anything? Jake just dead wrong. They're just like, that's his name.
Got him.
When they go to show you how stupid they are, because the original Cowboys
Word black.
was Judah Issachar.
That's
Yeah, just like on hockey, you know, niggas always say,
Right, exactly.
You got a nigga that's performing good at hockey now, but
Yeah.
the black Scandinavians invented hockey anyway.
Yeah.
All right, but
Con.
Jake take over everything and get involved in because Jake is superior. That's the prophecy.
Period.
Jake is 25. That nigga hop right off. I love it. He did that shit instant, no hesitation. 3 seconds.
That's what's up, man. All
I
right.
got that list too.
Yeah, let's bring out that list. We're gonna get ready to wrap.
No.
Just got work.
Hey, it is what it is, brother.
I'm gonna start with Elijah McCoy because that's a phrase we all know. The real McCoy.
Yeah.
All right, and he had 57 patent devices, most notably the oil cup for lubricating steam engines. And that phrase came about because his shit quality was so good. But Esau, of course, to make knockoffs and everything.
Right.
People like, we want the real
McCoy.
About
Real
this from
McCoy,
this
yeah.
nigga.
That's right.
All right. All right. Lewis Latimer, of course, you already mentioned him, the light bulb part, but he's also played a critical role in the development of the telephone.
Damn.
All right. Dr. Charles Brew.
So it should have been called Commonwealth Latimer, not Commonwealth Edison.
Yes.
Right.
Pieces of shit. But go ahead.
Yep.
James.
Black Doctor created the process of storing blood plasma for transfusions. Basically created the blood banks.
Yep.
All right. Another nigga, 50 patents for including an automatic brake and telegraphy device allowing voice and telegraph messages on one wire. All right. So you ain't gotta have bitches in the booth
Right.
changing the lines over. Black man did that. All right. Mark Dana, they say co-invented the personal computer at IBM. So basically, Esau took credit for this nigga shit.
Wow.
All right, including the color monitor and the.
And you know what? I just saved that into my phone to do a lesson on it. So it's coming out now.
Yeah, we made the gigahertz chip. So we got Nvidia and all these fucking companies getting rich in the stocks. You motherfuckers are putting in on these stocks. A nigga is the one that invented the first gig chip, man.
So,
right.
for video games, all that shit.
A Jake that invented the photocopier, those copy machines.
Yeah, the copy
for IBM.
machine.
Right.
Yeah, it was a Jake that came up with that idea.
The female Jake did the GPS
Yeah.
Yep, she passed away.
and the iPhone.
Go ahead, Benjamin.
Otis Boykin, 26 devices, including critical components for guided missiles and computers. So Esau, you a great award because of the invention of Jake, which of course is because of the Lord. But Jake is the reason you can guide these missiles, man. All right.
That shit crazy.
The microphone, James West, he invented the full Electronet microphone, used 90% of modern communications. 3D imaging.
Wow.
Valerie Thomas, this is a female yet. Valerie Thomas invented technology for NASA that produces 3-dimensional images. The fire escape ladder, the corn planter, the foldable bed, the hairbrush, the automatic doors on the fucking
Elevator, yeah.
The doorknob. You invented the doorknob.
This is crazy, man.
Man, so that if somebody get, you got Salt to the Earth.
All these Edomites that the food truck industry that's booming, the ice cream trucks, that good nigga, because he is the reason why trucks became refrigerated.
We made ice cream.
Yeah, refrigerated trucks and for shipping too.
Vanilla ice cream was created by Jake.
So somebody you got it, then you can read.
And he didn't
the
lick nobody's butt.
Before you read those, just to solidify the whole thing when these women are how they women are turning on the videos you play. Go ahead and read that Job 27, and then you're gonna read those and we're done.
This Job 27, I'm gonna start at 14. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring should not be satisfied with bread. The deed that remain of him should be buried in death, and his widows should not weep.
Man, and it just warms my heart and tickles me pink to see these Edomite women go off on these men like this, man. I find it very satisfying. All right, I love it.
Well, if I may, because a lot of these Edomite women, they know that their men are homosexuals and cucks. Man.
Well, you saw the way their eyes were wandering at the tournament today.
Right.
Anytime there's a room full of Jake and there's a room full of Edomites, the women are
Right. I got a report. So this is actual real, right? It says report indicates that the Grindr app experiences significant performance issues and increased outage reports during major conservative political events, often due to a massive surge in local user activity. Grindr is a gay dating site.
Wow.
Gay Tinder. And it's
so during political events,
conservative political events.
these Christian dance
conservative. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So the app crashes. The most recent crash was Charlie Kirk's funeral.
All of those racist niggas is gay.
They're all the majority of them are gay.
They're gay.
Give me that Kirk.
And they ain't even regular gay. They with preference. They gay for Jake, bro. They gay for Jake. The racist niggas are gay for Jake, bro.
That's fucked up.
Matthew 5. He got one more scripture, man. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and be trodden under the foot of men.
And that's what it is, man. All right? This world would be a flavorless place without Jake, man. All right? You ever had some saltless food? Some unseasoned food?
Bland.
All right? It's yeah.
White folks.
Yeah.
Job is going through hell. He still found time to complain about unsalted eggs.
There it is, man.
Nobody.
All right? And you go ahead and hit that wisdom of Solomon too. They made no account.
This 1 John 2:20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Lord, give us understanding, all kind of understanding across the board of everything. If you go in the scriptures, we made engines back in the ancient world. We made devices that were engine devices. We were doing things like this, and it's in the scriptures.
War machinery.
Right? They learned pushes and warfare from us. Esau in the world has learned everything from Jacob. You go back into the Egypt, and Abraham, Egypt, he was teaching them. If you go to Joseph, Egypt, he was leading them. You go to Daniel, they were so when the elite got a hold of Jake, they put them over the empires.
I think the military still get knife training from the Apaches.
I can believe.
Yeah, they've used
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where a lot of special forces learn their knife fighting techniques and their tomahawks techniques.
It's a story
they brought in the Apaches and teaching their knife fighting.
It's a story that goes back to when the so-called Native American Indians were starting to get into America's army, that they were forcing them to shave and their hair, and they were using them before that, and they were the best trackers and everything. When they start shaving their beards and stuff, they didn't have the same results to their state. You know, you can keep your beard. Yeah. And they were still letting them do what they do because they had that special connection with the spirit to be able to track and do those things that Esau couldn't do.
Hey, Elder, they got it's a Jake right now who's converting plastic into gasoline. Right. They've been threatening this dude, trying to threatening to kill this young guy. He's a young guy. Young Jake.
Yeah, he's been having issues. He's been having issues. I've seen videos about him. And he posted up a lot of receipts too. And he even mentioned something about something might happen to him. And he said that he's actually likes his life. I would not kill myself.
He
what else were we waiting for? Wisdom of Solomon, bro. We get ready to wrap, brother. Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible.
And that's basically what these women were confirming. These so-called white women were confirming. All right, go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look.
And we can't wait for that part.
We
can't wait for that part. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, all honor and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Kwam Yasharallah. Abba Ball.
We got something we need to talk about.